Hi. I often get asked for anything to help shoulders, tense shoulders, kind of stiff shoulders, and yes, sometimes some specifics if someone's got a specific injury or um, it's something quite chronic with the shoulder. But it's just like, oh, my shoulders get tense. These are totally my go-to ones. So I'm just going to go through them, a few features them, and talk you through them. You'll need a cushion. Okay, just say no cushion is fine. So come and have a lie on your back. So what I find with shoulders, before I do this, what I find with shoulders is often you get stuck in one position with shoulders. It can sometimes be slightly up, we don't realise it, or alternatively, they can be pulled down and become kind of stuck into this is what my shoulders are supposed to be if they're not lifted up here. That, or we tend to, so if we're right or left hand dominant, we tend to use more, I have a real reach with this one, and this one just gets left behind and it doesn't often get the same movement. So sometimes it's a balancing them back together because one arm, one shoulder has done more work than the other, and we're actually need to reset them back into the space so that one's not pulling when we're moving, okay? So these are my kind of resets, I suppose. So we want to get the shoulder blades moving. First thing you're going to do is you're going to come and lie on your back and you're going to let your arms lift up. Okay? And fingertips above the shoulders. Do your best to let those arms drop. So they're lengthened, but your shoulder blades aren't lifted up. So they're settle back down to the floor. So for me, it feels like someone's just holding my arms up and I don't have to hold them up. Yeah. And you might find when you do that your shoulders are upside your ears. Let that happen. Yes. Even if it feels like they're in the wrong place in inverted commas, just let them drop to the floor. We want them to relax the tension with them. Then you're going to lift your shoulder blades up from the floor. So you're going to really lift those top two corners of your torso away from the floor. And again, you're going to let them drop to just where they naturally go without judging if it's good, bad, should be there, whatever. Just let them go where they naturally go. So we want to bring back some general movement. Obviously, if anything's painful, don't, but let them move. And then start to kind of tune into where are my shoulder blades? Where are the top two corners? So what's lifting and dropping down? Reach them up, and now when you place them down, without any inclination to drag them into place, can you bring them a little bit further down your torso? Your collarbones stay wider and you reach up. So there's maybe a bit more space from the ear down to the top of the torso. And for me, it feels like my shoulder blade sits just that. It more wraps round my torso than sits up by my ears. So we start to place our shoulder blades now. And we're not dragging them down, we're placing them. And then let them stay there. From here, you're going to take the arms out to the side. I don't know if I have enough space here. And as you're taking them out, you're trying not to lift and open. So almost kind of roll into that outside edge of your shoulder blade on the floor and coming back in again. That's taking a few of them to open the chest. Okay, and then we're going to stay here. You can get that sense of the shoulder blades being on the floor. If you imagine the bottom of the shoulder blade and the top of the shoulder blade, top up at that real top corner, and the bottom sits a bit further down your back. You know, take your arms behind, and it's as if you roll into that very top part of your shoulder blade, and the arms are moving as a result. Then you roll to the bottom of the shoulder blade. So you've got a little rocker on the top two corners, top corner of your torso there, one on each side. You're letting it kind of rock to the top and rock to the bottom of that shoulder blade. Okay, we will do a couple more there. One more time. Okay, and then we're going to take the cushion, you're going to put it underneath your back so that your head is off the cushion and your pelvis is off the cushion. Your head feels really like it's rolling back and you can only look behind, it's a struggle to look up or forward, then prop your head onto a wee cushion. And your arms are up. Now your shoulder blades will be off the floor here, but kind of let them settle a wee bit. And then you're going to take your arms out to the side of your body and hold them there. So get a little bit of opening across the chest after they've moved. And it's nice to settle them down here. Just if that movement has hopefully not brought on tension, but if it's not, if you've got a kind of habitual pattern there, sometimes it might just decide to tense up a little bit. So open the chest. So you can take a few breaths here. This is my total go-to with my shoulders, because it's usually because I've got stress. I've got a bit anxiety, a bit wound up, and actually the best thing for me is to lie on the floor, get a bit of breath, let my chest open again, and the shoulders just relax. Okay, you can stay obviously there as long as you want. And the last one is quite similar to what we're doing on the floor, but it's just a different way of doing it. You're going to come onto hands and knees and have your hands underneath your shoulders, so the top two corners of your torso there, just kind of over your hands, okay? And then what I want you to do, if you can get a sense of where your shoulder blades are, I want you to drop your chest down so your shoulder blades really scrunch together. And then you're going to push the floor away and you're going to open your shoulder blades. And then you're going to let your shoulder blades scrunch together. And then you're going to open them by pushing the floor away. So you'll feel the weight in your arms obviously. Sometimes we're just needing to sort of ground through the arms and reset the shoulders. And again, like we did on the floor, so when I first do it, when I'm in this position, I really want to scrunch my neck and come up there. So the more I do, I focus on keeping my neck long. So it's my chest that's dropping up my head. Keeping my neck long and working with that, scrunching them together and then pulling them apart. Keeping the elbows straight. It's really important your elbows are straight, or else this becomes a press up, and that isn't what we want. Yeah, keep your elbows straight as you move up and down. You might find, so one of my shoulders, my right shoulder doesn't move as much, and it's because I'm right-handed. It tends to be a bit overstretched, that one, so I've got to kind of really make it scrunching towards my left. So you do a few of those, and then it can be quite nice to draw your arms across and kind of give yourself a bit of a hug. So if you kind of grab the top corners there, and you're not pulling them, but you're just letting things open a wee bit at the back. And then you can do it with the opposite cross. We've got a natural cross of the arms that we go to. And then finally, taking the hands behind, clasping them and opening the chest. And with this one, the important bit is the sides of the arm drawing into the sides of the ribs to open the collarbones. We're not trying to just pull the shoulders back. They've got a bit of a press of the arms into the ribs to draw them back. And it's nice to take a few breaths there. And then give the arms a wee shake. And if all of that feels nice, brilliant. You might find there's one that you gravitate to more than the other one. I would say that's the right one for you. Yeah, if it feels like it just does that thing that your shoulders need, it's the right one. And just do it regularly, like every day, do 2 or 3 of them. You don't need to like make it a thing. You just need to go, oh, I'm going to do for me that one on all fours. I'm just going to do a few of those and then get on with my day. Right? I hope that helps.